and welcome back to my workshop. I'm Tony, and as you know, I'm building my M26 Pershing tank. And the last time we left off, if you've been following me, we completed the whole turret, all the detailing on the turret, installed the gun mantlet, assembled the gun barrel, which is still here waiting to be painted. Pretty impressive piece of weaponry, that. And today I'm going to be painting the turret, but I'm not going to show you the painting of the turret because you're not here to see painting, you're here to see tank building, hopefully. But in between waiting for the coats to dry, I'm going to start working on this incredible little kit from Armorpax, which I mentioned in one of my videos earlier on. So it comes in two parts. You get the main gun itself, like so, and you have the mount, like so. They're all amazingly cast, beautifully made metal pieces. They just need a little bit of cleaning up, as all cast pieces do, and then assembly, all glued together, primed, painted, and then dry brushed to give some reality to it. And I've also got, I've put together a little sort of a 50 caliber belt of machine gun bullets, which will be part of this. But a couple of things ahead of that. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing this, I will be in between. I'll be going out painting the turret because we've actually got a nice day here in the UK for a change. And while I'm waiting for the various coats, I will work on this, and then my son will probably stitch it all together and make it look, you know, as if it's all happening, you know, magically all at the same time. But ahead of that, I don't know if I've mentioned in a couple of my previous videos, there was a problem with some of the electronics. Now, Armortek were on annual leave. They've come back. They've picked up this issue. And to their credit, they've spent a bit of time trying to get to the bottom of the problem. They've identified the problem, and then recently they've emailed all the owners that have been affected and telling them not to use this power module here, which is this. Just make sure you can see, this is the long new version of the power module, and this is faulty. I don't need to go into the reasons why or whatever. The Armortek have just basically said, they're not recalling them. They're saying if you've got them, do not use them, do not plug in. Now, if you are a builder and you've received one of these packs and you haven't seen the email from Armortek, just double check with Armortek whether or not you should have this replaced, and they will send you out a replacement. It may take a couple of weeks, but they will send you out a replacement. So credit to them, they've identified it, they've resolved it, and they're now starting to, or in the process of arranging to send out the replacement module. So a slight delay in getting the tank powered up, but you know what, I'm pretty well placed because I've still got a bit more work to do ahead of that. And then one other thing, I don't know if you remember, I mentioned when I was finishing the turret off, I left those, you know, those little slotted screws that go along the turret. I said I'm not installing those because I've got an idea, and this is the idea. So, you know, various templates later, I've come up with this. This is a piece of waxed canvas, and I'm going to use this as the cover for the mantlet, and in between the mantlet and the gun and the main turret. Sorry, which is something that you would see typically on the real tank. Now I've test fitted this. I'm really pleased with the results, and I think once it's all painted and this is on, it will really transform and make it look realistic, hopefully. So that's that. So in a minute I will reposition the camera, I'll get cracking on building this brilliant little kit from Armorpax, and then I'll show you the turret all painted up before we start weathering it, of course, but I'll show you the turret all painted up with the canvas on it and the gun at the end of this video. So hope you enjoy this. for today. I'm really pleased how this beautiful little kit from Armorpax has turned out. It's got some weight to it. Really feels like quality. Yes, it's a piece of, it's just, you have to assemble it and glue it together. And as always, there's a few fiddly bits, but generally speaking, it's just so good and so straightforward. So thanks a million, David from Armorpax, for your brilliance, because it just is. Look at that. I mean, it's just wonderful, articulated there. So I've basically coated this with acrylic paint. I used a black primer, and then I did 2 top coats of matte black acrylic, and then when that's all dried, I then just dry brushed it with metallic gunmetal, all the same sort of paints that I've used in the past, which are these bad boys here. And then I painted up the munitions box, weathered that. And then I just bought these this chain, this 50 cal metal brass chain of bullets, beautifully made, and they're from a big auction site that we've lots of us buy stuff from, and I'm sure if you look up 50 cal brass metal bullets, you'll find something, and I just think they add a bit of realism to it, so that's really smart. And the only other thing I did is that I just touched up or painted in the handles, the wooden handles, for the main gun. So and the other thing I did, so I'll put that there for a second, I've painted the main tow rope, but I'm not going to put that on just yet because I want to do the markings on the tank before this goes on, but that's done. Most of the painting elements are done, and then I've got some of these amazing little 3D jerry cans, these sort of American jerry cans, are 3D printed, and I just weathered one just to, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm really pleased how that's come out. So it's got a little bit of rusting on it, a bit of metal, exposed metal, and the likes of that. So that's that. So all that remains to do now is to see and pop if hopefully this fits on to my tank. And as you can see, it is painted. The turret is painted. So I'm just going to see if that fits on there. Oh, look at that. So it fits quite well. I think I might have to just put a little sleeve around that just to tighten that bit up. And I'll put the pin in to stop because otherwise this will just drop down. But I think it's about the right angle. So I'm going to have a crew member probably popping out of this hatch here, and he's going to be the gunner. He's going to be holding on to this. So depends on how it all works out. But I've got to look at that a little bit further down the line. But what an amazing detail! And again, it just feels right, looks right. So you can see I've painted the turret. I'm really pleased how that's come out. So that's all painted. I've done the tracks now, they're installed. I might do it, well, obviously in the weathering process, I'll beat these up a little bit. And I don't know if you can make out here, I did a bit of a post a couple of weeks ago about this garter, if you like, that I wanted to do, which sort of covers the mantlet, the area between the mantlet and the main sort of turret. And in the real tanks, they do have these garters to protect the inner workings of this, I guess. And what I did is, I don't even remember, but I left these screws out, these little slotted screws. I didn't put them in because I had in mind I was going to try and do this. And then I had to work with some templates and probably 4 or 5 efforts, maybe 5, to get it right. So I had to get it to curve around this, and material is brilliant for doing that, but this is there's no stretch in this or no give in this. And then what I did is I just put a line through here using the tow hook points to strike the center line, drew a line through here, then lined them up with the fixings on the back, and then drilled a whole series of 2.5mm holes, only of about a depth of about 6mm. And then I've done the same around the curve of the main gun mountlet, and then literally just got some, these are bronze 6mm leather studs for decorating leatherwork. And I just super glued them in, and it looks fabulous. I'm really, really, really pleased how that looks. And I think when the gun's operating, I think that will just finish it off. So I'm really, really pleased with that. And of course, the main gun, the main barrel has been painted. So I'll just pop this in. So that's in there now. Obviously, the gun elevator is not connected, so it's all a bit floppy still. But that's it there. And it operates as it should. So when it does that and it recoils, hopefully when it's recoiling, when it's all powered up and doing its thing, it'll look amazing. I've also done all the skirts for the main mud guards. And so most, if not all, the painting is done. It's just going to be now weathering the whole thing and some touching up. There's always a bit of touching up to do on these things because inevitably you'll damage it while you're working on it and the whole thing. And then I think the next step for me would be I'm going to put this is my plan, my current plan. I'm going to put the tracks, I'm going to fit the tracks, and then I'm going to power it up because I've now got the replacement power module from Armortek. It arrived pretty much the same day I was expecting. Well, it was brilliant. So they said they were going to send one out, and it arrived literally the same day I was doing this. So I've received that, and I'm now going to be able to power the whole thing up. Obviously the drive motors are installed already, but the rest of it I'll do a bench test, and then once I'm happy I will install the batteries and get the whole thing installed ahead of the other packs that I'm waiting for, which is the smoke, recoil and sound. And then of course a lot of weathering to do, but it's unbelievable that I've got to this stage. I'm almost there with the static build, and quite sad actually, because this has been an amazing journey, and still a bit way to go, and so we're not completely finished, but I'm really pleased how it's looking. And I think the next video will be all about me sort of bringing it to the next level. So I'll put the tracks on, we'll show the bench test, that kind of thing. So that's it. If you're following me and you like this video, please put your thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and hopefully go back and watch all of the videos I've done on this and the Tiger. Thank you again for all of your support, all of your comments. It means a great deal to me. And I'd just like to say, I'm Tony, I'm building another tank, and I'll see you really soon.